Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Happy final day of Inkvent, the 25th day. If you guys celebrate, very happy, Merry Christmas. Can't wait to see what's behind the store. Now, because of the color of the calendar, as I found out last year, and people who are like, Inkvent veterans have confirmed, it's dollars to donuts. Always, the final bottle always matches the color. So like, no spoiler here, it's going to be teal. And last night I happened upon in my sidebar a semi-spoiler title, like wordplay on the title. So I'm pretty sure I know like one of the words that's going to be in the title, but that's not really like a full spoiler, because like I did see, I think like maybe twice, the list of names of inks that were in the calendar. Like none of them, most of them didn't really like stick out to me, except I believe Burr, Laurel, and Mittens, and a few others. So again, like a semi-spoiler isn't really the same as a full-on spoiler. So thank you very much for not, oh, here's a picture of my swatch in my thumbnail, and this is the exact title in the thumbnail. But so anyway, let's see what the big bottle is going to be. 30 milliliters. I love teal. It's my third favorite color. That's one of the main reasons I got this calendar again. And also, hopefully, finally they save the Starbright for last, like give us the goods. I'm so eager to see what this is. Hopefully, oh, that's it right up. It's a little bit of a bigger door to have to open, pull. I love the anticipation. I'm, a very like, well, I'm impatient in many ways, but like when it comes to, things like this and surprises and avoiding spoilers, I'm all about it. This is Myrrh the Merrier. Ooh, nice. And this is going to be shimmer and sheen. Oh, that's going to be lovely. Wow, like two awesome qualities in one, but hopefully it's not going to be one of those extreme monster sheeners that, I've said in all the videos for those inks over these past 2 years. I really do enjoy the extreme sheens. It's just like such a pretty effect, particularly when the light catches on it. But, sometimes it kind of sucks in another way, because like, oh, it's such a beautiful, blue or purple or green or like red, whatever base coat, but oh no, the extreme sheen is, completely taking over, and it's a totally different color. I like just wanted to appreciate the pretty purple I thought was going to be the final color, the beautiful, unique color of blue. So let me check the color of the sheen. Looks like it's going to be some kind of a bluey purple, but yeah, teal. This kicks ass. See you guys on the other side of my desk. Ooh, that's nice. It's a gorgeous dark teal. It's so beautiful. It took a while to, I mean, I say a while, I don't mean, like 5-10 minutes or anything like that, but it did take more than like maybe like 10-20 seconds, whatever, to fully shake up and distribute and agitate the shimmer down at the bottom. Sometimes it can really get stuck at the corners. This is absolutely freaking beautiful. This was totally worth the wait. I'll have to, of course, at the end, compare it to day one of Celestial Skies, which at present is still my top favorite, but who knows, maybe this will come in number 2 after it's all swatched out and I've done the writing sample. I'm totally like digging this ink, but because it's a shimmer, I have to shake it up over and over and freaking over again for the shimmer particles to show up, fully and properly in the swatch. Like sometimes they just like sink immediately to the bottom the moment you've like, set it down after like, swirling your paintbrush around in it. So this, I'm totally a fan of this ink so far. Maybe this really will finish the year as my number 2 favorite. Have to leave some space, enough ample space to write the name. This is kind of a long ass name, 3 words in it. This is wow. And oh, and I totally forgot it's also a sheener. I was so focused on trying to pick out the color of the shimmer, which does look kind of, blue at the bottom. Oh, teal is my 3rd favorite color. I did say that in the opening segment in many prior videos. I love this ink. It's beautiful. I think this might be going on the full bottle list, but sometimes an ink dries up much differently than it went down. Not that there's anything, wrong with it. Like yesterday's Antler, I was kind of surprised. It was so beautifully dark on the swatch card and in the initial writing, but then surprised it's like maybe drying up 2 or so shades lighter. So, wow, I'm liking this. It's so dark and bold and like dramatic, and wow, it's so pretty. It's also giving me, you know, a little bit of a flashback to molten basalt on what I think that was, yeah, day number 13, which had a kind of has a kind of like, you know, I guess like browny, coppery, bronzy sheen on top of really, you know, dark, intense blue. Oh, I'm finally starting to see the shimmers like peeking through. Should I give it like one more coat? Yes, I should, because I just love putting down as much ink as I can on the swatch cards, just like fully appreciate the color. But I do realize that kind of can lead to maybe like a misleading portrayal of depiction, like idea, whatever, of the true color, because if I'm putting down like 3 freaking layers or sometimes more on the swatch card, that won't always necessarily or like at any time like fully properly translate to the color when I'm, you know, actually writing with it in a pen, when I'm only, you know, doing like one go through of the ink. You know, it's always like a sign an ink is like way too light, at least for me, or not, you know, saturated enough, when I have to go over the letters like 2 or 3 times for the color to pop out. Oh yes, I'm loving this ink. This is so absolutely beautiful. Wow, I already want a full bottle of this stuff. I cannot, you know, have enough teal inks. Better leave enough in that little corner for the metadata, as I pretentiously call it, although that really is the word, like metadata, the Inkvent, the day of the Inkvent, the name, the property. I'm loving it, and it seems like a very wet, well lubricated ink. This is so damn awesome. I could just paint up a whole freaking page with just this ink. This is like so impressive. They really did save the big guns for last, although I'm still kind of disappointed, not gonna lie. They did not give us any star brights. I'll have to go back and look at the list that was probably from like on Cult Pens and a few other websites listing, oh, here are the names as we know them at this point, whenever it's like in the summer it went on pre-release, and here are the properties the inks were, the properties we are told which the inks are going to have. And I'm dollars to donuts, I'm pretty sure I remember seeing, you know, Starbright in that list, but, you know, maybe I didn't. Even my elephantine memory isn't, you know, full proof, or like maybe they thought at that point there was going to be Starbright, but, you know, I guess plans changed. Like maybe some of the names in that list were also, you know, eventually changed. I have to go back and, you know, check. And now hopefully I can fit the entire name on the bottom of the swatch card. Pull, that's just a little bit of schmutz that got onto the swatch card. Is it all, oh, it's not all in the frame anymore. Hopefully that was all in the frame when I was swatching it out, or I will be completely humiliated. So just gonna write the Diamine Inkvent up at the top this time, so I don't have to worry about, you know, like smudging and stuff when I'm writing the names in the other order from what I usually do. So the pen goes in, Diamine Inkvent 2025, day 25, and it's so intense and like beautiful and like vivid on the dip pen as well. This is just a damn dream come true. Hopefully I will not bump that over. Straight down, and I hope I am not leaning into the frame too far. Oh, it's coming down nice and thickly on the dip pen, although as I've said many times, and that's no secret either for people who have, you know, been in the fountain pen and ink hobby for any significant amount of time, frequently a dip pen does write a little bit like thicker at first, the first few letters or words, whatever, because there's just so much ink clinging to it upon the first dip. But then after a while it, you know, settles into a more like, you know, realistic looking, I guess, stroke length ink pen. Hopefully that'll all fit into one line, and then next line, 2025. Good thing I left enough space for that. That was an important lesson learned this year. Just don't try to squeeze it all into the, you know, the same line. It's like way too crowded even for my, you know, tastes. Day 25. 5. This is gorgeous. Myrrh the Merrier. M-Y-R-R-H. I know that's one of those words most people don't, spell so many times. I have to check the spelling, although one of the fictional churches in my books is called Holy Myrrh Bearers. I believe that's a fairly common name for Orthodox Christian churches. Myrrh the Merrier. I love their like fun wordplay on their ink names. You can't accuse them of being all stiff-lipped and all buttoned up, a cold, frigid Brit. Like Brits actually do have an excellent sense of humor despite the silly stereotype. Myrrh the Merrier. Hopefully squeeze all that in. Looks like I can just make it. I'm used to squeezing in letters in small spaces. Or let's make that E a little bit more pronounced. Yeah, I'm really digging this one. Yeah, that's better. So it just looks more open at the top. This is great. I'm really jamming with this ink. Oh, and now that the shimmer and the sheen are starting to dry, it does like, surprise, surprise, like chemistry doesn't like contradict itself, like reddish. And it looks a little bit purpley too. Really enjoying this ink. And it feels like it's already starting to dry up a little, so I didn't just put my arm into a huge swath of wet ink, so that's good. It's well performing. It doesn't stay wet too long, but it does feel like somewhat still a little bit damp in the thickest portion of the miniature swatch on this page. Yeah, I am still jamming with this ink. 100%. This will be on my full bottle list and finish this year's Inkvent of one of my top 5, probably even top 3. This was a gift worth waiting for. I sound like a broken record, but I have to fill up the space somehow. And I really, really am totally, jamming with this ink. And as I said, I'm not really like mad at all about the like semi-spoiler title I saw last night, because at least it was not like, oh, bam, here it is, the actual swatch. It's the Inkvent calendar as the thumbnail, which just seems like good manners for some people, but you never know how people these days. Oh, I don't mind spoilers, so therefore no one else should care about them either. Day 25. So much metadata to not a lot of metadata to remember, but just like when this is still like a fairly new type of video for me and not the kind I do all year long. And like I haven't done Inkvent for very long either. This is only the second year. Oh, I forgot to put all of the metadata in the exact same order like every single day, so that'll probably be something I have to work on for next year. Myrrh the Merrier. And do they call it shimmer and sheen or sheen and shimmer? I'll have to check before I write the property in the parentheses. Myrrh the Merrier. This is, they're calling it shimmer and sheen. Awesome. And what beautiful shimmer and sheen it is. This is lovely. So damn beautiful. Shimmer and sheen. Now, hopefully I'm not leaning too far into the camera and flashing you guys my gray hairs, which is always humiliating when that happens. I'll have to, do some more like practice after Inkvent ends about like where exactly I can't lean, where exactly I need to position the camera. This kicks ass, and I will do the longer writing sample and get back to you guys with a 100% very, very happy update. This ink is made of absolute win. I had such a damn blast writing with it. I wish I had been, had more space on the page, because I ran out of room to continue writing the lyrics of the song, which I was doing, The Seventh Stranger. I filled it up into my Delta Duna Water Lily. This was an Atlas exclusive, since sold out. I was saving this pen for the final day, knowing it would be a teal ink. It doesn't, like, I guess 100% match the dark tones, but it does have pretty teal like tones and colors and swirls and stuff in it. This ink, I'm in love with it. It's so beautiful. dried up wonderfully on the swatch. You can see it reflecting in the light, like reddish sheen. I get, yeah, that must be the sheen color. And the sparkles, the shimmers are like blue and purple. This is just such an absolutely pretty ink. And I pulled out some of my teal cards, as well as some of the not necessarily all teal inks, but, you know, really dark, intense blue, like teal-esque colors, both from regular swatches and from the prior days of the Inkvent. I thought would be a good comparison to it. First off is the natural comparison today. One, Celestial Skies. They're both teals, but I think Celestial Skies leans a bit more like greenish, or kind of like a blue green, while Myrrh the Merrier is much, much darker, and it does seem to lean, I guess, well, it doesn't, I can't really say it leans more towards the blue side. It's a teal, but I guess, like, given the, you know, comparison between leaning more green and more blue, this does look like more blue, or at least in the big ink, like a splash in the swatch card. And there was the burr from day number 11, that not nearly the same, you know, type of color profile, but this does, you know, seem to lean more towards that, you know, darker side of the teal family. I'll pull out the I guess the writing comparisons, the notebook, after I'm done going through all of the swatches. And then there was a molten basalt from lucky number 13, which again, like, not teal, but it does have a really, like, dark, intense blue undercoating in that pretty coppery shimmer. I mean, like, not 100%. I'm not trying to pretend or, like, make people have the impression, oh, she thinks that color that is completely different looks the same. No, I'm just saying there are, you know, base similarities in how, like, you know, dark the undercoat is, or it kind of, like, reminds me a little bit. I'm not pretending, oh, they're all perfect matches. And this was Laurel from day number 18, my secular birthday, and also my Hebrew birthday this year. A really dark green undercoat, but it really sheened up red. But of course, like, More the Merrier is not a monster sheener, so the comparisons only go that far. And Frostbite, one of my top 5 favorites, I can safely say, after seeing all of them from day 15. Look, they're so pretty together, and they do, you know, have, like, similarities. If I were, you know, I guess, like, making a top 5 list or whatever of inks from this year's Inkvent that most remind me of that one. And finally, Fur and Fog from day number 6, in the teal family also, but does not have the same color of, like, shimmering particles, and there's no sheen on this. I'm 100%, like, almost 100% going to be getting a full bottle of this one. And for teals, I don't really think, like, Iced Cookie is anywhere close, but I just thought to, you know, hold them side by side, because, like, this is a teal ink, and I guess in the writing it looks closer than it, you know, does in the actual swatch card. That can, you know, happen sometimes. And of course, the natural comparison, Emerald of Chivor from Jacques Herbin. This also reminded me very much, and many other people as well saw the comparison with day number 1, Celestial Skies. I wasn't doing comparison cards in that first video this year, so again, like, so much of this is a learning process for me. Things I did that were, like, stupid mistakes or amateurish, or that were just not the best thing to do in videos, I won't do that again. Or, oh, these are good things I corrected myself and started doing, I should keep doing that. So yeah, and Celestial Skies and Emerald of Chivor, like, Celestial Skies looks more blue and Emerald of Chivor looks more green. And compared with Myrrh the Merrier, they don't really look anything alike, even though they're both from the teal family. And what I also pulled, this isn't, you know, the most perfect match. Sloth from Diamine, their 7 Deadly Sins line, occult pens exclusive. But I did think to compare them, because Sloth is a rich deep blue, and it has a nice prominent red sheen, but, you know, no shimmer. And what else did I, oh yeah, last year's Inkvent, this was Vibe from day number 18. I'm sorry if they're, like, falling all over the place. My English birthday, my secular birthday, a really nice tealy undercoat, but it does, I guess, look more, you know, similar in the writing. And Vibe has a extremely prominent extreme sheen of a red undercoat. And what I saw some other people comparing this one to Kujaku from Pilot Iroshizuku, which means Japanese, which means peacock in Japanese. Had my words mixed up. That was embarrassing. But Again, like no shimmer, no sheen, but they do have the lovely base coat of teal, and it looks very similar in writing. I cannot, wait to continue using this absolutely like beautiful, beautiful ink. Like, give me the full bottle right now, you lot, as they say in England. So I'm really, really happy with the final ink of this year. And even though I did, I don't want to think I, like give the impression, I'm sorry, I'm fumbling for words, I was, complaining about so many inks. I genuinely did, aesthetically appreciate and like almost all of the inks in this year's calendar. It's just pale pastels and light colors are, not my style at all. I'll get into that more in my wrap up final thoughts video in the next week or so. But it's just like stereotypically girly girl colors. They're just don't really do anything for me. And I'm sure people would say, oh, I have internalized misogyny because I associate like pale pastel pinks and light purples with females, and oh, that means like I think my own like half of the species is weak or bad. I know I'm just saying, I, as a tomboyish gender defiant woman, I just don't really like feel drawn towards light pastel colors. Like, these colors are where it's all about for me. Like, give me a whole calendar full of them, dark, intense, like bright, like vivid, or even like medium colors like birds. Light colors, they're not something I would, think to voluntarily, like regularly, every day pick up for, writing. They would be more like an art thing, or put it in a super duper ass broad nib or a giant stub or something, so I can, have the color more saturated and more prominent. So thank you guys very much for watching. If you celebrate, have a very, very happy Christmas, and it's just in general, have a wonderful like winter season, the rest of the holiday season. If you celebrate Orthodox Christmas coming up in the first week of January, like, have a happy Christmas then. Just, like, enjoy your Inkvent, spending time with your friends and family, or just taking out time for yourself. So thanks again for watching, particularly if you guys watched my entire Inkvent series. Even if you didn't comment on all of them, I really do like to think I was constantly like improving myself and learning different tips and tricks for the overhead tripod, and what to do and what not to do when making the actual video content. So thank you guys very much for your support, either silent or active. So again, I'm really, really glad you decided to join me for this Inkvent journey. Happy holidays. Bye.